So day 3 into our motorcycle trip, and we were going down one of the roads that we'd only been up once, coming back from Gardner, and ended up taking a turn too fast and laid my bike in the ditch. Pretty scary moment. Kind of felt a little bit dumb after. I panicked, stood my bike up instead of bending into the curve, and ended up off the road. So probably the best scenario of what could have been really bad, especially if another vehicle had been coming around the corner when I messed up on my turn. So we're about, I guess, 2 weeks after still. It's still bugging me a little bit. I was okay, some bruises. Bike's okay. Rhoda had all the right gear on, which was probably a very good thing to do. True believer in all the gear all the time, so hence walking away with just a few bruises. My bike, the safety gear on it, engine protector bars, the belly pan, all those things, the bark busters, wonderful things to have on a bike when you put it down. Saved my bike from a lot of damage, which was great. The mental scarring after didn't really reveal itself till about 2 days after. I was able to get back on my bike, no issues, really. A little bit sore. Drove back to camp, took her easy for the rest of the night. Next morning we got up and rode out to Yellowstone National Park. When we actually went down to go see the Grand Tetons, which you'll see in day 4. Well, you won't see it, but we're going down that way. We've got some pictures and stuff, so when you see that, I'm actually 2 up riding with Randy. I'd had enough of that day of just getting to the next destination. So little things like that started to get to me a bit, right? My desire to ride any distance was definitely gone. Day 5, we rode out to Yellowstone, or to Old Faithful to go see that, and had a little bit of a meltdown on the side of the road. That was a challenge. Really had to make up my mind whether or not to continue or to go home. So took a bit. My biggest concern on going forward was the fact that I knew what was coming up with the couple mountain passes that we had to go through, the switchbacks, even going into the Black Hills. Iron Mountain Pass, or Iron Mountain Road, has a lot of switchbacks on it, right? I knew the turns were going to get tighter, and would I be able to do it? Would I panic again? Make a mistake? A lot of those things went through my mind, but I made it. I decided that day at day 5 that my constitution was gonna kick in, and I decided, no, we're gonna continue. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna go home. So made it to Yellowstone, made it back, and only did a couple 2 up riding with Randy for went on a date night, and it was fun doing that. So took a little bit to get my wheels back underneath me. Definitely drove a lot slower than what I would have before the accident. Still have a few things, you know, you go through many questions. Do I want to continue to ride? Am I going to sell my bike when I get back home? I do have to say that I really enjoy being on a bike. Wind therapy is a wonderful thing. I'm not ready to give that up. Also not really ready to be a backpack either, so I'm gonna keep my bike, gonna keep riding it. I don't know if I would do a long distance trip like this again, since the accident. I think I'd want to split it up, maybe not so long, maybe not so many days of riding, a little bit more of a break, see some of the sights when we get to locations, because I really enjoyed some places that we were at. So yeah, to anybody out there who's dropped that bike, kudos to you for getting back on. If you can't, kudos to you for having the fortitude to make that decision as well, because it can scare you. It can rattle you really good. For those of you who maybe are still struggling with the concept of whether you want to ride or not, baby steps. Get back on there if you really want to, if it's something that you like to do. Don't let it slow you down. Just have it make you a better rider. because that's what I'm hoping it's going to do for me. And thanks for listening.